We're both from Lascassas. Yeah, we grew up in that community, as children from grammar school all the way up.
Both went to the same school, all 12 years.
At that time, they were all in the same school, both grammar school and high school. There was no kindergarten when we started school in Lascassas.
Right.
She came off of a dairy farm. Well, I was the one that did that, I said, that's my girl right there.
He just thinks he did.
You know how that works. Well, I went to college, and she did a short period of time. Went to Middle Tennessee at the time. I started in '65, and she was in '66. And she went for a year, I guess, and then went to work at State Farm at that time. And we didn't get married till '67. And that was between my sophomore and junior year of college. And I finished college in '69. Business, accounting, economics, a little bit of ag at the time. I don't know that I had a set plan in my life. I was already involved in a business at that time, and my thoughts were, I don't want to do this, I want to go and work for a huge company or something like that. Try something different after I graduated from college. So that was what I actually did for a short period of time. Well, I worked for Austin Purina Company when I graduated. We moved to Cookville at the time. She was pregnant with our oldest, our first child at that time. And he was born there.
I had worked at State Farm for a short period of time until we got ready to move to Kohl. Of course, I was going to have to quit anyway because I was expecting it.
2 years, and they moved me around. That's the way companies do. And we moved to Gallatin, I think, after that. Sales rep, working with Purina dealers, calling on farm people at that time. Dairies and cattle and hog. Kelton's Hardware, what we have today, is an evolution of two other businesses that were started in 1961, when I was in 8th grade by my brother and myself, and he was a junior in high school at that time. It was a building that Murfreesboro Bank and Trust had occupied in Lascassas, and my grandfather bought it when they sold out and came back to Murfreesboro. And in '61, my brother and I started a feed business, a local feed business there in Lascassas. We didn't operate it during the day. We opened up before school from about 6 till 8. And then we opened back up. We closed it, and then we opened back up at 3 o'clock after we got out of school. And that business we started with $580 a piece. That's what we put into that business.
Why 580?
Well, that's what we had. That was the amount of money we could come up with together which was $1,160, to pay for the supplies and things. It became the local hangout for a lot of us young boys, and her brother included.
Sold gas.
We sold gas, there were gas.
Back in the day
there.
when it was pumped and they cleaned the windshield and all that kind of thing,
Well, of course, I worked for Purina for a short period of time, and my brother had gone on to work for in the computer end of an insurance company in Nashville. And we decided that we wanted to go back into business together. We had an opportunity to do that in '72, '73, in that time period. I don't know exactly when it was, but it was right in there. We went back in as Murfreesboro Feed and Seed over on West Burton Street. Went back into a farm supply business. Feed, farm supply, fertilizer, lawn seed, garden supplies, that kind of thing. We operated that business. He passed away in '85, and I kept the business, and we operated that business for 34 years there at that location. And then we decided that Jason had come in, our youngest son had come into the business in 2001 with the mulch business that we also do now. And he got that going and started, and we decided to build another business on Old Fort Parkway, which is where we are now today in the business. And he runs the business today. Well, relationships are a big part of any business, especially a small business like our business still is. Obviously, in the early years that we were in business, prior to building the business we have today, we were based, basically with farmers, farm people, the farm community, and you build up relationships with them in servicing their needs. You go in and eat breakfast with them, and you just sit down with the family and see their children grow up and just learn more about them. It really gets to be a good experience as far as that's one of the things you get out of having the business that we've had, and other people do, as well, that are in a small business.
I think not only with the customers, but with our employees. We've seen a lot of our employees we hired while they was in school, and them grow up and having children, of their own.
We had a guy that came in a couple of days ago who worked for us for all the time he was in college here, and went on to do other things. And he stopped by to announce that him and his wife were fixing to have a baby. He wanted me to know that. And Betty and the rest of them.
I happened to be there, but they got him on
they
FaceTime.
FaceTime me. I was out in the field on a tractor. When he FaceTimed me, we stopped and talked a little bit. So I was happy to hear that.
That's a relationship. I tell them that we're family. When the customer comes in, greet them like their family.
We try to go a little bit further and make it a little more personal business. Get to know the customer, what they need. I'm very proud of what's happened in our business, honestly, because we've started out early on, as indicated earlier, in '61. Very small business, very local business. My brother and I expanded that later on into a little larger business, kind of the same thing, but more of a larger style business. Now we really actually have a completely different business than what we even started out with when we moved into Murfreesboro. And it's because of the community. We're very fortunate to live and operate a business in Murfreesboro. Not everybody that had started out in our business is able to do what we were able to do as far as move with the economy and the area changing. When Nissan came in the early '80s, my brother in particular realized that we were going to have to start doing and looking in other areas. We were able to do that. When we built the building that we're in today, I told Jason, I said, now this is going to be your business to wind up with. You're going to be the man, and I kind of turned it over to him, and he's done a great and a fantastic job. And I think for me and Betty as well, that's the thing that we enjoy looking at and seeing how well he's done,
Right.
How much the business has grown and expanded, and we talk about things every now and then, but he's the man in charge. It's a good feeling just for that.
And I tell him I'm there till he fires me, and he's assured me that he's not going to fire me. But I hope to work there because I enjoy it. I only go 3 days a week. My hours are my own. If I get there late, then I have to stay late, then so be it. Or if I get there early and can leave early, then that's the way it goes. But I enjoy what I'm doing. I can't imagine not working. And we even talked about that this week. We neither one, Jason and I, can never imagine what we would do if we didn't work. As long as I'm able. When they say I can't drive, they may put a stop to it, but of course his wife works there also, and we decided that she could pick me up. She's on the way.
That's hard to say. I mean, I think we're going to continue to grow. Some of that's good. We all see some of the bad part of it, with the traffic and all that type of thing. But, from a business standpoint, it's been good for, I think, all businesses in town. We've suffered this last year in 2020, but not our business really, but a lot of businesses has because of what happened, and having to close and that kind of thing. But we're through that now, I think. I think we're on our way out and headed upward, and I don't see anything but good things for our community, really. We came to our new business in 2007, built it in 15, 16, 17. Got started in 17, and Jason and I looked at ourselves at that time and said, what have we done here? Because obviously, financially, it was a pretty big step for us to do that. It has really been, great for our business. The community has come and been with us, all that time, and we've been very fortunate. that time, there were about 7,000 unused building lots, I was told, by Joe Adelot, I believe, who was, involved in that with the city and the county. And we knew that was going to be a big area out there eventually. And a lot of people questioned us when we did that because we were one of the few businesses that were built out there at that time. But I thought it was a good location, close to the interstate right there. People can access the business, and it had an existing business, our storage business, already on it. So it was, I thought it was a good location for a business for what we wanted to do. Ideal for us.
Another interesting note is on that property, we found out later that Jason's 4th grade teacher lived there. And she had traveled, Las Casas is really pretty good ways from, Old Fort Parkway.
15 miles.
Yeah, and but how ironic that was that, we was buying land from previous property.
You have to think about the next step.
Right.
And I know Jason is thinking about that right now. He's a lot better than that than I am. I'm kind of old school. This worked years ago. Why don't he work now? But he's not. He's always looking at something different, thinking about something different. And that's one of the reasons I think we've been as successful as what we are today in our business. Our small business, still our small business, but service is where we think we make a difference. That special one-on-one, care type thing that I think we pride ourselves in giving that.